welcome to Reproductive Health Hour here on CTN Media. My name is Halimatu Sise, and today I have Mr. Famara Fatty from RAMCA, that is Reproductive, Maternal, Neonatal, Child and Adolescent Health Unit of the Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
I would like us to talk about family planning, commodities and services. What is family planning? Is it a new thing that has been introduced to us, or it is something that came to modernize the old methods that we have?
Thank you very much, Alima. This topic we want to discuss, which is family planning, is nothing new in our daily services in the health sector. And family planning has ever been something of humanity, where we are being asked to plan for our families, for a better family in terms of management, productivity, and all other socio-economic development. So family planning is not new, but rather something that has been within us.
Before the coming of contraceptives, that is the modern contraceptives, do we have old family planning methods that we used to use
Yes,
in our society?
we do have family planning methods in our society before the modern family plan, which has come into add up to what has been happening. Again, that happens with the dynamics of human beings. And these old family plannings, if we want to remember, one amongst them is what we one time were using as in Mandinka, for example, they were calling some of them Musubungo. Musubungo in the Mandinka language would refer to women's house, meaning a house or a complex where you have only women and doing their business. No man comes around them. And where no man comes around a woman, one aspect of family planning is being practiced, which is to space pregnancies for better health. We know there were also other methods of family planning that we all do have in our different tribes. In Mandinka again, I can remember it being called Al-Kunud. Al-Kunud could be something that women would be given to wear or to put on, and it is believed that such an item on them to prevent them from getting pregnant until when that is removed, meaning again wanting to space pregnancies so that they will have enough time for their families. We do also know that there were also in the scripts where we do have our marabouts writing something for us, which was related to Al-Kunudo, because they all happen to be items that you have to wear or put on to prevent you from being pregnant for some time until when. So we have several of them. These are just a few out of many that we can talk about, or that we can just remind of.
Yeah. So when you come to the modern day and age, what are the types of family planning methods that we have?
With the modern methods, there are also some included previous methods that I always want to talk about because it is primary and number one. And that is the abstinence. Abstinence is being used by every level of family planning, be it traditional, religious, or modern. And it is number one of the preventive methods or family planning methods. Amongst the modern methods, we also have the pills, or if you want to call them tablets, that can be taken daily, or some of them are taken when certain incidences happen and you don't want to see the outcome being the pregnancy. We do have injectables, and we also have other preventables like the IUCDs. We call them POSE in our language, local languages, and several others of its kind. The POSEs could be different, but there can be several. So we have those modern contraceptives among many that we talk about.
What are the benefits of family planning?
Um, the benefit of family plannings are just too many. Family planning, as the name really calls for, is a way of planning for a better family that is manageable, and that is also of the family that one really appreciates or wants to have. We are not restricting, or family planning is not restricting anybody from having the many you want to have, but rather wants you to have them in the way it is being prescribed by any of the family planning advocates. Family planning benefits could be for an individual, could be for a community, and it also goes down to even the country and the whole world. As a benefit, we must first understand, if we want to take it from the individual point of view, family planning is about a family. Family is about three people. Every family are three people, nothing more than three. A family is a father, a mother, and offspring. These are the three people that a family is all about. Now, when we say planning for a family, you are planning for these three people. And for each of these three, there is a huge benefit for all of them. Let's start it from the father, the male bit of it. As a family head, if you plan your family very well, you are less likely to have challenges that are going to be overwhelming. Challenges must come in. Challenges are an engine to a family's management, meaning you have to be challenged as a family head to be able to manage a family very well. So they must come in. But to be overwhelmed with challenges needs to be sort of limited, and family planning can help a lot with that. We have seen instances where people get a family of even two that they cannot manage because they were not planned for. We have seen people having families of, 15, between 8 and 15, and they were well managed. So it is not about numbers. It's about helping you to manage yourself as you wish to manage yourself. That is the socio-economic bit of it. Now, when it comes to expenditures as a family head, where you have not planned for a family and you do not have that much economy for them, it becomes too challenging for any family. Therefore, this can drive a family head as a man to be stressed. And we know what stress means.
Yeah.
It can lead to ill health.
Of course.
And this is where you have probably men having to die earlier than men because they are too stressed.
Where you go to households where...
And one thing about men, they want to keep their stress in themselves. They don't want people to know that they are stressed.
Yes, but they are
and that is the worst thing about stress. When one is having an ill health, the best way to work it around is to expose that particular stressful situation. But for men, we are not good at that. We want to keep our stress. We think we are men. We have to keep things to ourselves. and this can bring about difficulties. That is just a few of the man's aim.
Yeah.
Let's look at the mother. Here is a lady, here is a woman who is very key in that family. And when I say a family this time around, I'm looking at the micro family and the macro family. Here is this woman who is dealing with everything in the family. And you want that child, that woman to take care of a part of the family, which is the child and the husband, the household. Now, if this particular woman is not given that time, that ability in terms of energy, in terms of thinking, and all sorts, to be able to manage that family at her level, this is another disaster. Stress and other things come in here. Let me tell you that a lot of our women folk today in this country have some very serious psychological problems that they are moving with and not known to the people because for us it is a normal thing. But these are psychological stresses that are actually taking a lot from that woman. Come to the health aspect of it. In terms of having to give birth, I mean, even with the religion that we all believe, we are being advised to plan for our families. To the extent we are being advised to space our families for a period of 2 years or more
Breastfeed.
to breastfeed. And when we say breastfeed here, that breastfeeding, if you do it comprehensively, breastfeeding can be a method of family planning. So that is why if you were to breastfeed according to the principles of breastfeeding, obviously it is likely that you are going to have a very good family planning method used where you can have your child breastfed for 2 years or more without having another pregnancy. And having another pregnancy until another delivery takes you about another year, meaning between every 2 kids should be about 3 years. Not even the 2 years that we think, or the 1.5 year that we are talking about most of the time now.
Yeah, so let's talk about the attitude of people when it comes to the contraceptive method we have.
Yeah.
Condom, for example, most of the people will say that if you're using condom, like you are throwing away sperm, is something that our workers will say, or something like you are throwing babies.
Yeah.
So, what is your opinion on that misconception about using condoms?
Yeah, for us, from our scientific point of view, and if you want, we can even bring the Islamic part of it later. But from our scientific point of view, until that sperm meets an ovule, an egg, or we believe there is no union between the two to form a human being. So you have not yet started, or you have not thrown a child out. It is until when that union is, and something happens after that, then you think of a child being, formed, or the formation of a human being starting somewhere and going away. But this is a complete non-formation of the human being. So throwing sperm out does not necessarily mean that you are throwing a human being out. Now, for those who are saying that, are taking it from maybe certain thinkings or schools of thought from their area. But I can tell you, for example, even in the religion, take for example what we call withdrawal. Withdrawal means when you are having an intercourse up to a level where the man wants to release himself, brings out the thing and pours it out. It's acceptable in the religion. Now, what he pours out there is what?
It's sperm.
So who is now telling us that that is a child that is thrown out there? If that is a child thrown out there, accepted by the religion and is advised by the religion, so the condom has come. The condom has come to make it a bit more modern and a bit more civilized and clean. Instead of throwing out one's sperm, maybe point it on the floor as you are busy having your nice time, or putting it on the bed and the bed sheet being messed up. Why not put it in a container that will keep it for you to throw it safely and more cleanly and nicely? So the bit of family planning, particularly when it comes to condom, it has just come to make the other one a bit more cleaner, civilized, and talking about the same thing and nothing more than that.
Let's link family planning to the prevention of maternal mortality.
Good.
Yeah. So, what's the linkage between family planning and maternal mortality?
Yeah. Let's link it from the olden times, and it will just reflect what is in the modern times. Why were we actually sending our women to the mothers to do their breastfeeding? Because we don't want them to get pregnant very soon while they are breastfeeding. There are two things here now in that aspect. One is you want to make sure that the baby who is being breastfed is not weaned very soon, because then the thinking is if somebody gets pregnant, the milk is no more good for the one that is sucking. But no, what is happening around that time is a good practice, having to get away from your wife, or wife getting away from you, for the baby to have time with the mother and have all the milk and the time that they need with the mother, number one. Number two, that time frame they have out there for breastfeeding, it is what we are really looking for in terms of family planning, 2 years, for example. And if that happens, getting pregnant after that means you are strong enough to have another child. Similarly, with the modern family plan, it's all about enforcing that particular idea of getting away from the husband. This time around, be around your husband, but use family planning so that you can have your pregnancies spaced. The use of spacing in pregnancy medically is to get you stronger for another pregnancy, so that you do not have the problems that may come when they are too close. We have to be honest. Some of these things are very well clear. Let us take an example of, for example, a placenta. As big as a placenta, for example, can you imagine where it was attached in the womb, and it is now detached, and that wound is there like an open wound that needs to get healed to be able to harbor or to able to contain another pregnancy. It needs time for that healing to take place. And in that way, we need to make sure that everything possible should be done so that that healing takes place. And that is why that period of 2 years or more comes in from every doctrine, to make sure that that healing takes place and all other organs are ready for another child, so that we will have that very brilliant, that very healthy, intelligent child that grows within us without any problem. And the mother also, yes, without any problems, because the mother was healed after the previous pregnancy, and every other organ that needs to take up its shape and energy and powers have taken and getting ready for it. In this case, these women can be strong enough to do anything a woman does in the labor ward to deliver. Otherwise, if there is that frequency of pregnancies without planning for a family, trying to get the pregnancies spaced, yes, for a good number of women, they can still do it as other women are doing. But for many more, they are not going to be able to do it because they are weak. If not the energy, then the organs or the systems are weak, not to be able to carry along that other pregnancy. And that weakness brings about any other thing. It could be an ill health that can be chronic. It can be an ill health that can be of an emergency. It can sometimes lead to deaths that we are experiencing. These are some of the things that.
When we talk about family planning, all everyone think about is spacing your children, or some will say not having children at all. But there is also the side of family planning which enables women who are having difficulty getting pregnant.
Yep. This is again like if we have to go back to what I said when I said a family. It's about a man, a woman, and a child. Now, where these two have come together and the third one has not come, family planning is there to help you, for you to have a child and go on from there. Family planning, maybe for many, are looking at the contraceptive methods of family planning and not family planning as a whole. Family planning also helps to counsel any two people who are in difficulty. We have seen married couples who are in difficulties, and their relations becomes a bit sour and sometimes get to the tougher side. Family planning can always come into help, because many at times it is about maybe the couples being together for some time, not having a child, and you have a lot of other forces around them that are pushing in certain things that are making it difficult. With family planning, we are able to come in to help you to address some of those issues until you get what you want. So family planning is more than contraception. It also helps in having children and things like that, with all other benefits.
How do we tackle the misconceptions and the misinformation going around that family planning is encouraging unmarried young people, men and women, girls and boys, to engage in immoral behaviors in society?
Right. Family planning for me is like we must thank God for having family planning this time of our life. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster. Family planning is not here to encourage anybody to be promiscuous. Now, if I want to give you a simple example of a family planning, would be this mobile phone that we have here. The one who made this mobile phone did not make it for many of the things we are seeing in these mobile phones today. They made it for a very good intention, to make communication easy, to use mobile phones to educate yourself, to do the good things with it, so that you get the rewards of those good things. And I don't think we would blame the manufacturer or the maker of a mobile phone for the people who are doing the bad things with mobile. Similarly, for this family planning commodities, contraceptive, because that's where we're talking about when it comes to promiscuity. Contraceptives are meant for couples that have united in the right way and being advised to do it, in the right way. If it comes to promiscuity and its addresses, that is where the primary family planning comes about. And that is even what the religion also advises us to do. That is, prevent yourself from going around it. That is family planning. Total abstinence. Number one, family planning. Religion tells you that if you are a gentleman, or if you are young, or you are youth, adults, not yet married, please think about getting married. They are advising. Please think about getting married. To do what? to prevent you from being on the other side, doing the wrong things at the wrong time. But if you cannot, the religion says keep fasting. Why are you fasting? Because by the time you end your fast in the evening, you break the fast in the evening, the next thing is you are going to bed. So tired, exhausted. And whilst you are fasting the whole day, probably your thinking is on the good side all the time. You don't think of what bad things you are going to do in the evening. So therefore, in the evening, you are not able to plan within that short time to go and do a bad thing. So it helps you to get yourself away from these things. So similarly, for family planning, it is meant for people who are in the right relationship and wanting them to have the ability to decide when they should have their children, how many they would have, but plan in such a way that they are not going to be overwhelmed with challenges that may be facing them as a family. So basically, that is what family planning is all about. For promiscuities or for the bad things that people are doing with family planning, it is being incorporated in their bodies. But that is not the reason family planning is being introduced. And it is all about, again, if I have to go back to that level, it is all about, again, we as human beings, we as parents, we as caregivers, we as gatekeepers, we need to put this thing across to our children from the time they are young, that certain relationships are not good for them, by religion, in our societies, by our social cultural values, and in health-wise. These are all of reasons that you can give your children come up with so that they don't go into those bad things that we think family planning is really encouraging, when actually it's a no, and a big no, that family planning is not encouraging. It's the people's attitude that is encouraging them to use family planning to do their part, not family planning encouraging people to do that. That is my.
Thank you.